All right, g'day, hi, and welcome. All right, so I've got a little blood trail on here. People used to cover everything. I've seen a couple of techniques. So you can see I got a little bit of blood there. So they're going to follow this trail here, and hopefully they'll go right through my snare. My snare might be a little bit on the big side, but it should be okay. I don't want to touch it if I don't have to. Yeah, I think I got to take that snare down just a little bit. It's big enough for a wolf or coyote, but it seems like it's hanging low in the tree. Maybe just because the snow came up. But I put little drops of blood on the trail. And I'm just going to... You see, I got blood right there. So they're going to either see that as a video. I threw the beaver meat over there. It's a little off from where I wanted it to land, but... Yeah, like that. Perfect. Yeah, that's better. So they're going to smell that. And they're going to come and just going to walk with the bag draining. And hopefully that'll bring them in. Nah, that's a lot better. That way they don't try to step through it. You know what I mean? So I've seen people do two ways of going about it, where they completely mask their smell. And other people like just tramp it down right, tramp right through where you put your snare. Because sometimes, yeah, they'll get your scent and they don't like your scent or whatever. But sometimes they'll see, well, what the hell was this big idiot following, right? Like, why did he go in there? Is there something in there for me? And that's what you hope for. So, because they know if you're around or not, So, and with it being so mild, they're definitely gonna smell that in 5 minutes. I'm just hoping the birds don't take it away in 2 minutes. But the blood smell will stay longer than what the bait will, right? So lures work when it's mild out. So what you hope for is like minus 40, minus 40, minus 40, plus 10 for like 3 days. So like 3 weeks of minus 40 and then plus 10 for like 3 days, just enough to catch everything, and then back to my minus whatever. After that, the job's done. Because again, if they smell it, it'll lure them in. There's wolf and coyote tracks just up ahead a bit, so they're still in the area. This is kind of like one of their main crossings, and yeah, there we go. There we go. So make sure I don't get any of this blood on me, beaver blood, because it's pretty stinking. This beaver blood's about a month old there now, so doesn't smell too good. Anyway, I'm gonna head back, and yeah, hopefully tomorrow I'll have a coyote or a wolf or something of with nice fur, hopefully nice fur, but we'll see. The wolves and coyotes are more of a conservation trap for me, because there's like no deer in my area whatsoever. The deer have had such a bad past 20 years. In 2003, 2004, 20 years ago, we had a really, really mild winter, kind of like this, but like gobs of snow, where the snow was literally 6 feet deep. I know I marked it off on trees coming back here. In the springtime, my hatchet marks were 6 feet up in the trees, right? Oh, here comes the chickadees. They smell it already. So if they smell it, there'll be wolves following them, coyotes following them. I'm telling you, as soon as you pull out any bait, the chickadees, by the end of the season, usually the chickadees are practically trying to mug me. They're like landing on my shoulder going, give me some now. Angry little buggers they are. Yeah, they'll eat till they explode, I'm sure. Just like a little feather, But anyway, so the deer, I've told this story before, but the deer basically, the snow was so deep that they couldn't get off the trail. So the wolves and coyotes, it was more wolves at the time. Now we have more of those kind of coy wolves, half coyote, half. In the future, there's going to be no wolves. It's just going to be like a mixture of coyote and wolf, right? Coy wolves, or the red wolf, same thing. Although debated. They basically sat on the trails and just picked off the deer. And they killed about 30 to 40% of Quebec's deer population in 2003 and 2004 with those extremely snowy, mild winters. And then about 5-6 years ago, there was a parasite, and they basically, I don't know how many province-wide, but just in my area, they killed about, one area they killed 3,000 deer, one area they killed 5,000 deer, and then I heard 18,000 somewhere else, where basically they literally killed the deer. Now, that wasn't the parasite, that was the government. How they did it, I don't know exactly, but that's what they said they did. And gee, there's no deer around anymore. you know, like what happened, right? Yeah, so it's like the moose, that happened. It's kind of one of those things when they get these parasites, because our winters don't get cold enough. Like you need -40 to kill a lot of parasites, right? And that's why you're seeing these like new bugs and stuff kind of pop up, because you know, they don't get, the ground doesn't freeze enough, right? To do that. But if you do get a really cold winter, then it kind of resets everything, right? We haven't had a couple of winters ago was kind of cold, but you know, when we had the polar vortexes and stuff, which I think we're going to get again, but not probably for another year or two, just because we're in the El Nino phase again, right? So, but we're also in a solar minimum phase again, right? 2011 to 2022, right? Now, that phase brings you your cold weather. That phase brings you your cold weather, and we kind of need it. Not so much crazy amounts of snow, but we need. When you have mild, you get crazy amounts of snow. Basically, snow is just frozen rain, basically. you know what I mean. So once you got that, I guess that should be long enough. Once you got that, what ends up happening is it takes a while for your deer population to come back. That's why I don't hunt deer anymore. I shot my first and only deer in 2010 or 2011, and that was the last time I think I actually hunted for deer. Might have hunted 1 year after that, but just couldn't do it in good conscience, right? So a lot of people don't understand that about like hunters and trappers. We are like the first line of conservation. Whenever you hear these big university studies of animal stuff, yes, they will go out in the wild and they will track things or whatever, but most of the information they get is from hunters and trappers. A lot of people don't understand that. And with fewer people hunting, fishing, and trapping, maybe not so much fishing, but hunting and trapping, just because it gets harder and harder to get into it every year because of all the regulations, right? It's harder to track how the animals are doing. That's why it's something you really don't want to let go. I'd like to know what that track was. Because last year there was 2 bobcats on my property. 2 of them. My uncle saw both of them in the same morning. My dad saw it once or twice on the trail cam. I never knew I've never seen a bobcat in my life. I know there's always been lynx and the odd mountain lion that'd go through here, but and the odd wolverine go through, but I've never ever even bobcat. My dad's seen a bobcat maybe once when he was a kid. He's back. What's up? He wants to poop on me. I know he does. I can just tell by the look in his eye. He's like, he saw me this time. I'm just going to do. I was just flying here, buddy. I wasn't going to do anything. That's like the 3rd time he's done that. I don't trust him. Anyway. But yeah, so some people watch my Trapping 101 series and they don't understand, like, what I do is basically like the day in the life of a trapper. Now you say, well, you're not much of a trapper. Well, this year, no, but you can watch Trapping 101 season 7. You'll see a lot of techniques, a lot of, other stuff. There's a nice big tree. Ain't that a nice big tree? Been there all my life. But anyway, yeah, so I do like the day in the life of a trapper. And, walk around and talk about, animal statistics and stuff like that. So you do get a lot out of these videos, information-wise. trapping is something that is very misunderstood by a lot of people, especially with the propaganda and stuff like that. So one of my goals with the channel was to educate people on how to do it right. And, you know, I know how to set a trap the proper way that works. You know, like there's some people that go to like the edges of ridiculousness to set things up, right? And they do great that way, but a lot of times, like, there's an easier way. You know, like for beavers, there's nothing easier to catch than a beaver or a muskrat or even an otter. You just got to know where to set the trap. That's it. You know, and that's pretty easy, right on the dam or at the house. Anyways, just gonna pause it here.